Welcome to the first ever guest episode with Sarah Hyde. So Sarah is an incredible coach who helps women rise into their highest and most expanded selves. So she's known for her signature style of conscious connected breathwork, and she weaves together deep nervous system work, subconscious reprogramming, energetic manifestation to create profound, lasting transformation and help women lead from a place of power, presence, and aligned magnetism. In this episode, Sarah shares how her burnout really became the turning point that completely reshaped her life. We talk about a number of things again, but specifically the overachiever's trap and sitting with emotions instead of outrunning them, which is a big one. And also how breathwork reconnected her to her body and to her intuition and energy. And this conversation dives into healing, confidence, feminine embodiment, and remembering everything you've been searching for is already within you. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to Emerge. I'm Feeney, a breathwork teacher and somatic guide, and each week I share unfiltered conversations with people who've turned challenge into transformation. Come for the stories, stay for the wisdom, and leave with practices to support your own healing and growth. Okay, welcome to the show, my first wonderful guest. This is a huge excitement for me that you're the first guest. Welcome, Sarah. How are you feeling?
I am feeling amazing. I feel like what a privilege to be your first guest. Like, wow, feeling the energy, all the excitement, and for what's to come for you.
Oh, thank you, my love. That's so sweet. Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone after that intro to you, I imagine everyone's going to be very excited to hear about what you have to say. So let's just dive right into the juice, shall we?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so in the light of this theme of this podcast, which is pivotal moments in our lives and how they change us, how they shape us, I want to really dive straight in and ask you, what was a pivotal moment that really changed or shifted your life in some way? Just tuning into
Beautiful
that.
question. So, I mean, I've had many,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go with the most relevant one and the one that
Absolutely.
has really transformed my life, and that's been in more recent years.
Mhm.
And for me, that was my burnout. So I have for many years been an overachiever.
Mm.
I call it the overs, right? Over people pleasing, over performing, and overworking was like my biggest thing. And that led me to a really bad burnout about 3 years ago. Kind of call it my spiritual awakening, which really was at the time awful, but led me to breathwork and has led me to a completely different way of living my life. So yeah, it's definitely my burnout.
Wow, okay. And was there like a specific moment, or was it more like a building up of kind of desperation that it suddenly clicked?
That's such a beautiful question. Yeah. So from my side, it wasn't an overnight thing. For
Mm.
me, it was just basically a long series of events that basically led me to a burnout. And from that burnout, it wasn't like then I had a burnout and then wow, everything was great straight after that, sadly. But that burnout led me to be like, right, I now can't use my coping mechanism. And
Mm.
my coping mechanism had always been to work harder, right? So
Oof.
when you have no energy and you're stuck on the sofa and you're not feeling great, you can't go out, you can't work. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I was sat with all my feelings, all the feelings I had been so scared of and that I had been running from. I
Mm.
literally was sat on my sofa with them. And that obviously led me to this isn't right. Like, I shouldn't feel this way. Like, and I don't want to feel this way. And I've always been somebody that when something doesn't feel right, I make a change. Like, I don't fear change. That's one thing I'm really fortunate that I've got. So I was like, right, something's not right. It feels off. I'm going to look for a retreat. right? It's like that
Mm.
standard thing of like, quick fix, give me a retreat for 5 days and I'll be fine. And I had seen that a girl I know, had come back from a breathwork retreat. And for me, the retreat seemed perfect because it was in Lanzarote, which was on the same time zone. I could do the retreat, I think, for like 5, 6 days rather than say go to Bali for 2 weeks and be totally off
Mm.
grid. I had my own business, so I had to be still present for that. And I thought, wow, this looks perfect. Luxury for people, kind of bespoke. The last thing I wanted was 7 a.m., like alarms going off, wake up, yoga. I needed
Yeah.
something to zen to like heal me. And I ended up literally within a week on a flight to Lanzarote to a breathwork retreat. And I'd done a bit of breathwork in lockdown. And I thought I had a few tears and a kind of emotional connection to something greater. But I thought it was because we were all obviously fearing we were going to die that I was having such a extreme experience.
Mm.
Little did I know that was kind of the norm. That was just the
Yeah.
beginning. And I ended up in Lanzarote in this retreat, and I did 6 whole days of twice a day, full on breathing for like 45 minutes, an hour.
Wow.
And the experience I had within that 6 days completely transformed the relationship I had with myself, the relationship I had with the universe, the
Mm.
relationship I have with other people. It was like the aha moment. Like, Sarah, you didn't get the codes. You didn't get the codes of how to live life. You are not living by the codes. You have coded some weird coding into your system and you are not cracking these codes. And that was really what took me on a journey, which I've been on for the last 3 years and will be for the rest of my life, of complete growth and evolution, to discovering myself more, to discovering like, what is this
Mm.
life? What does it mean more? And to just really wanting to feel the best I can feel in my body, in my mind, in my soul.
Oh, so powerful. And so much of that resonates with me, obviously,
Yeah.
with the breath work and how much that changed my life as well. And just that total transformation. And so I'm curious, before that point, were you
hmm
into any of the kind of self-development, sort of
hmm
growth, spirituality, any of that kind of stuff? Or was that a real shift when you did the retreat?
No, I had always been super into this stuff. But I just think I always say I was like in the spiritual closet, right? I was
That's such a good.
totally like, yeah. I have all the books. I'd been reading them like from the age of about 26. I had been, and bear in mind back then, 26, like now all this information is everywhere, all over Instagram. But back then, the
Yeah.
only place you found this was in books.
You had to really look for it.
And yeah, and my first ever book was Ask and It's Given by Jerry and Ether Hicks, which,
Yeah.
yeah, is a powerful book.
Yeah.
And I even passed this book to some of my good friends who also, we were like the secret squirrels, like reading these books.
Feels like a
And
secret club. I felt that
yeah,
with breath work, especially. I was like,
yeah.
why is no one talking about how amazing this is?
Right, it is though. These are the secret codes, right? They
Yeah, yeah,
actually are, and still they're more accessible for people, but still people aren't fully like on board with it yet. And I
yeah.
understand why. It takes a lot of courage to really go down this path fully. But yeah, so I was reading the books. I also, from a young age, I had digestive issues. So I
Mm.
had always been on a search for, I don't want to just take medicine like to make this go. I know there's something deeper here. I just had this knowing inside of me that there was something more emotional around this stuff. And so I actually did a coaching course with IIN, which is like a integrative nutrition course. It's very much about like
Ah.
holistic health and nutrition. And this was like while I was running like one of London's most successful nightclubs as my full-time job.
Oh my
So
God,
it
I
was
didn't
like,
know that.
it was, yeah, so I was doing all this stuff around it. And I didn't really tell people, right? It was just, I had this fascination with the mind and body, the
Mm.
mind body connection. Like, I knew there was something in it. I knew I had anxiety. I knew that, like, my indigestion would manifest more when I was feeling more stressed. And so I'd really kind of started this journey quite early on. I
Mm.
just hadn't accepted it. I hadn't really
Uh-huh.
claimed it. I hadn't really let myself go deep into the connections that I've now have with everything. that at the time then I was kind of a bit scared, like a lot of people are now. I was a bit
Absolutely.
scared to go deeper into it. I didn't feel like I was fully ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do have to be fully ready, and you are called at the right time, I believe.
100%.
Whether that's through an event or, something that's happened to you, or just a kind of message that comes through, it's the time comes, and that is then it just sets you off on the most incredible path. And what's amazing about being into spirituality, transformation, self development is that, like, don't you find life is never boring? Life is just expanding. Life is just growing. There's just the opportunity and the excitement and the vibrancy of life is just like it's not sort of like, oh, now, we're in 30s, 40s. Okay, now it's sort of like winding down or whatever it
Yeah.
might be. It's like, no, 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 no. The world is all just starting. It's like, yeah,
Totally. I love that. It's totally winding up. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the 30s and 40s for me have been the
Wow.
most transformational, right?
Yeah.
The most
Same.
alive I've ever felt, the most connected to myself, to my friends, to my family that I've ever felt.
Yeah, same. And that's just a testament to this work. It's just incredible. One thing I noticed, and I always notice about you, is that, and I'm curious to sort of dig a little bit deeper with this, is how you come across in person and also on social media of like this vibrant, confident, magnetic person
Oh,
who's so
babe.
inspiring. And I just kind of,
Oh my
even going through your content as well, I'm like, oh, I get that feeling like I want to work with her, even though obviously we're friends. And it's like, but I'm like, you have this kind of pull, and also this absolute comes across as this absolute confidence and like total self belief in
God.
yourself. What it comes across as, I'm curious to know, has this always been the case? What is the kind of, yeah, to dig deep a little bit into that?
Wow, this question just gave me goosebumps.
Mm.
Firstly, thank you so much for such beautiful words. I'm totally receiving them, which old me
Yeah.
would not have done, right? Old me
Yeah.
would have gone, oh no, well, you're just, seeing me on a good day or something like that. But I have to admit, I have always had a big energy, right? I've
Mhm.
always had an energy that when I walk into a room, it kind of like people do, I'm tall, that also
Mm.
helps. People do kind of gravitate and I also think I like to think my mum's Irish and she's so kind and beautiful and she has a very similar energy. So I
Mhm.
do think I learned that very much from her. But I have to also admit that the confidence piece before wasn't really there. It
Yeah.
was there in terms of like if I walked into a room and I felt like my hair looked good and I had like a nice pair of designer shoes on, I would feel confident then, yes. But if I actually had to walk into a room, let's say with people all wearing beautiful designer stuff in a beautiful members club, and I walked in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, I honestly would have felt like, oh my goodness, I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, I don't feel good enough.
Mm.
I'm afraid to be seen for all that I am. And I would shrink, right? I would go small. I would
Mm.
play small. And but now I honestly could walk into that room in pretty much anything and be like, no, I
Mhm.
really fully know that I am here on this earth to connect with my people. Like
Mhm.
before, I used to have such a fear of people and being judged by people and wanting to fit in, right? This real, I call it like the good girl.
Mm.
Like, I need to be the good girl. I need to like everyone. Everyone needs to like me. A lot of people pleasing tendencies, a lot of like looking like the crowd and fitting in. Whereas now I want people to love me for me, right? For all of
Yeah.
me. And this has been a journey, right? And when I say it's like really the last 3 years I've hit this journey hard, I mean hard. Like, I haven't just done, oh, therapy once a week or something. I've worked with multiple coaches. I've done somatic therapy. I've done mind therapy.
Mm.
I've done breath work. I've done so many things. I read. I am in programs. I listen to podcasts. Like, you name it, I do it. I'm hungry for it. I'm hungry to be better. I'm hungry to be more in love with myself and more in love with life. So for me,
Mhm.
definitely this whole confidence piece, right? I think
Mhm.
it's actually such a fascinating piece because I do think so many people, it's like, are they really confident, right?
Mhm.
Or are
Mhm.
they
Is it a
performing?
facade?
Because, and some people are very good at performing. Totally, totally, totally. But I think the biggest piece for me about getting this confidence has been getting into my body. I used to
Mm.
live here.
Yeah.
And you must know this from breath work, right? Like
Yeah.
this is before breath work, everyone that loves breath work, this is where they were living.
Yeah, anyone who's not watching, anyone who's listening, Sarah's sort of pointing towards her head. So it's all in the head, all in the mind, nothing to
Yeah,
do with the body. Like, that's totally not relevant, right? That's what we used to basically be taught. Don't worry about that. There's nothing, no knowledge of the nervous system, no knowledge of anything to do with the language of the body. No, or everything
totally.
about the mind.
Totally. And for me, it was when I took my first breath into my body. Wow. It was
Mm.
like, I'm alive. Like there's something in here. Like I say to my clients, plugged back in, like a
Yeah,
physical plug plugging into its socket.
yeah,
Like, and you can't understand what that means unless you physically experience this, right?
yeah.
That I felt plugged back into me. The Sarah who was born without the conditioning, the Sarah that was born without the
Mm.
having to prove, without the, I don't know, parents wanting something from like for me to be something, or the school wanting me to be something, or the society pressures of being something. The original, authentic Sarah. And that really was the part I had been running from, right? And this is very
Yeah.
much this work. We're running from the truth of who we are, because the
Mhm.
truth of who we are, often as a young child, we got taught that that wasn't who we should be, you know, and that's
Yeah.
how our little brains interpreted certain behaviors from parents and teachers and things like that. But yeah, so for me, this journey has been very much like fully getting back into my body, fully getting back into the truth of who I am, into my confidence, into my whole life force. I say like my life force moving through my body.
Mm.
Before I was like shoulders kind of shrugged, fear
Mm.
clenched in my lower belly, fearful, worried, and my energy was stuck a bit there, right?
Yeah.
And like for me, this journey has been fully allowing our life force, which lies at the base of our spine,
Mhm.
fully moving that through the body, opening up, like, you know, every part, right? From the womb
Yeah.
space to the heart to your connection with something greater, and just really allowing, I say, life to move through you, right?
Mm.
Rather than when something hard comes, restricting, going down, opening
Yeah.
and allowing life to move through you.
And that ultimately is, as they say, it's a cliche, but the only way out is through. It's like but we forget this all the time, and we're not taught this in our society, right? It's like avoid, numb, all of these things, and actually, the beauty lies on the other side of all of the pain and all of the things we're struggling with. And I think until you really start to work in that way of like, okay, being with all the emotions, being with all the feelings, like sitting with it, allowing it to be present, to be witnessed, to be accepted, to be held for all those parts of us, then that's when we can actually transform. But we're not taught that. And it feels like the easier way, and it kind of is actually
Yeah.
to avoid. It is easier.
Yeah.
But on the long term, actually, it's not, because the energy it takes when you're avoiding, you're numbing, you're repressing, that all is like, kind of going along with the theme of the plugged in as well. It's like that battery, it takes so much of your energy, that battery, that kind of internal battery, when you're pushing things away and you're repressing and you're holding and when you like let some of that go, it's like, oh, it's a lot of work to begin with, but then you're like, whew, I can release a little bit of that heaviness, right?
Totally. And I always kind of say as well, like we're leaking energy, right? I'm like
Yeah.
energy obsessed. So I love talking about
Yeah,
energy.
yeah,
So the fact you moved
yes.
to this is like,
Yes, let's talk a
um,
little bit about this, because this is your
yeah.
jam, isn't it,
Yeah,
really?
this is my jam, energy. Oh my God, I love it. Frequency, energy, let's talk it. Yeah. So for
Yeah.
me, it's very much about like your energy is honestly like the greatest asset that you have. Like,
Mhm.
where are you placing your energy? Where are you leaking energy, right? Our energy
Yes.
is so precious. And so often when we're like people pleasing, we're putting somebody else's needs before our own. We're leaking energy, right? We're
Yes.
like basically giving away this beautiful thing we've all been blessed with that we can use to create the life we desire, right? So when
Yeah.
we are leaking energy, worrying, overworking, burning ourselves out, using different substances to numb so that you're leaking energy again,
Yeah.
like this inevitably ends up in burnout, in misalignment. Like people
Mm.
always talking about like alignment and being in the truth of who you are and how when you are in alignment, that your life does just flow because you are just
Yeah.
attracting people, possibilities, things because that are in alignment with you because your
Yeah.
energy attracts, right? Like attracts like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, this is
so
so interesting for people to listen to. People who might not know so much about energy or the way
yeah,
it works. This is so interesting and juicy. Loving this.
yeah, you're right. So, like attracts like. So,
Yeah.
your life is a mirror of you,
Yeah.
right? Your energy, right? So, you're attracting everything into your life constantly. And
Hmm.
if you want to change your life, you need to change your energy. And
Yeah.
this is a lot of my work and the body of my work. And you know this as well, because obviously with breath
Mm.
work, it's a practice where
Yeah.
you're changing the energy in your body. And
Yeah.
when you change your energy in your body and you shift limiting beliefs, you shift dense energy that's like stuck and you've held in places, your energy starts to move more freely. Your energy starts to vibrate on a higher frequency. And this is how we
Yeah.
then attract better things into our lives or more aligned things because our energy is a match. It's an absolute match. I always say to someone like, look at their life and you will know exactly what their energy is, right? It's
Absolutely.
it's it's a complete mirror. So yeah. So for me like energy and where you place it is
Hmm.
so important. And when you're using your mind, so again, I'm pointing up here to my head, and when your energy is just like tick, 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 same thoughts,
Yeah.
same, predicting the future, anxious feelings, anxious thoughts, this
Yeah.
energy is just constantly leaking,
That's the
going
thing.
out the
Yeah.
body, right? You're not using it to take it inward, to really connect into the truth of who you are, into like your own essence. Like use those extra thoughts into thinking what you do want, right?
Yeah.
Rather than
Yeah.
what you don't want, right? When we
Absolutely. Because we're actually manifesting all the time without even realizing it, but most people are manifesting through negativity and fear and being like, oh no, this is going to happen. This person's going to think this about me. This is going to happen in this scenario. And you're bringing it about. You don't even realize that you're doing it. And so,
yeah,
like, why not manifest the good things, right? Why not bring
totally.
those things to you?
Totally. And I know that this is easier said than done, right? Because I know when I was in my burnout and I was not in a good place, like I was stuck and I didn't know how to like get out of this negative mindset. It was like I
Yes.
wanted to get out. And like some of my friends would say to me, like, come on, Sarah, like you're not
Mm.
like this normally. What's wrong with you? And I just couldn't get out. And that's why I'm so passionate about practices. I see so
Yes.
many people on the internet, it winds me up actually, just saying like, oh, I don't need a practice. Like, and I'm
Ugh,
like, well,
I know.
you might be one of the fortunate ones. But even if you say you don't need a practice, if you added a practice in, where would you then go? Right?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
and a practice like breath work, meditation, I call them embodiment affirmations, where you're really
Mm,
embodying them into the body, right? Not just thinking in the mind.
yeah.
You are working with the energy in your body and you are changing
Mm,
yourself at a cellular level. You are changing. And so this is what I had to do, right? It wasn't like, oh, I woke up one day, did one breathwork session and woohoo, I was flying.
yeah. It's not an
It
easy
was
fix.
it's not, but it's a beautiful one, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, it's like when you start to like move through your really sticky, icky stuff at the beginning, of course that's difficult. There's a lot to process
Mm,
often for a lot of us. But when you come out the other side of that, this work takes you to expansion, right?
yeah.
Like you start to like shovel the poo off the field, right? Off the field. You start to
Love that
shovel it
analogy.
off. And then suddenly you have this beautiful clear field where you can start planting your flowers, where things
Yeah.
can start growing, where you can start creating your life intentionally. Like you can
Yeah.
become aware of your thoughts, you can become aware of your feelings. And when we live in awareness, this is when we can actually start to change, right? We start to catch the negative thought and we're like, oh, that doesn't feel right in my body anymore
Mhm.
to have that, to walk into a room and
Yeah.
feel anxious, to be myself, like, oh, that doesn't feel good. And then going into a bit of self inquiry, like, why is that? Is there something in me where there's a limiting belief, where a bit of like self worth is showing up? Or is it that maybe this isn't the right room for me? This isn't the room I
Exactly.
should be walking into. And my body is saying to me, mm-mm, this isn't right for you.
Rather than
So,
shaming yourself, perhaps actually it's not the right environment for you as well. That is an option.
exactly. And I think this actually brings me on to another thing is that for me, especially as a woman, and I'm really passionate about women and working with women, it's like this work has also connected me back to my intuition, right?
Mhm.
Which was this
Yeah.
part of me that I had really suppressed. I was, went to an academic school. It was all about achieving, and I had really gone into my hyper masculine. I was really living in strategy, achieving, and like that, and that's great if you're living like in your nice, healthy masculine energy doing that, right? But I was doing it
Yeah.
in a toxic masculine. It was coming from a place of not feeling worthy, of wanting to over deliver, of overachieve to feel worthy. But
Mm.
when I started to like slow down, connect back to my feminine essence, connect back to being fully in my body, this is when my connection to my intuition started coming back.
Yeah. And that's the only way you can do it, really, to do these practices, to slow down, to be
Yeah.
with yourself, right? I mean, people, you see everyone doing, ayahuasca like 10 times or,
Yeah.
all these medicine ceremonies, which, there's definitely an amazing place for that. I haven't
Yeah.
done ayahuasca, but I have done a, mushroom ceremony before,
Yeah.
things like that. But it's like, asking yourself when people are doing these things, it's like, what is the intention here?
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing the practice, if you're
Yeah.
not doing your daily practice, being with yourself, like, what are you doing taking these hallucinogenics and these drugs to kind of catapult you into something else? It's
Oh
like
my God.
people try and remove the foundational work, really, which is the practice, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can you be fully connected to your intuition and yourself and your essence and your soul and what really serves you and who you really are if you are burning out, if you're constantly pushing and you're not spending any time with yourself?
Totally, right? It's like the piece of like integration. Like that's what really just came through when you were talking then is like if we're doing these plant-based ceremonies or, even things like Kundalini activation process, which can really take you out your body, like, are you integrating that afterwards, right? Like doing your grounding practices to come fully back into your essence, to really come back into your body. Are you really integrating these experiences into your daily life? Are
Yeah.
you, rather than like, again, I think a lot of these things are fine lines because you're almost searching outside of yourself for the answer,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I always come back to everything is within you. It's all
Oof.
within you. You are the medicine. You are the
Yes.
medicine. And
Say
I
that
think,
again. You are the medicine.
yes,
People
you
need to
are the
hear this shit.
medicine. You are though, right? You
Yeah.
totally are. Like, oh God, I love that. But so many people sadly now are searching for something outside of themselves. They're looking
Yeah.
almost even scrolling on Instagram on reels, looking for that one reel that says the thing that's going to
Yeah.
transform it. But actually, really, it's a choice of changing your life, right? It's
Yeah.
saying, I'm no longer gonna do things that no longer serve me. I'm
Mhm.
no longer gonna give my power away to people that aren't worthy of it. I'm
Yeah.
no longer gonna walk into toxic relationships. I'm no longer gonna wake up 5 minutes before I need to leave the house, not have my breakfast, feel anxious because I'm rushing straight away. I'm gonna
Yeah.
choose a life where
Mm.
I slow down, where I go inside and I discover what is the way I want to live my life? What works for me?
Yeah. Oof,
What
that is
works
so
for me?
powerful.
And for all
Yeah.
of us, it's different, right? And that's why
Yeah.
it's so funny because obviously, like you, I'm really passionate about breath work and it's completely changed my life just like it has yours. But I know that it's not for everyone, right? Like
Yeah.
for some people, they might find meditation as their real thing, or for some people, it might be yoga. And
Yeah. Or
but
dance
whatever
or
it
yeah.
totally right. But it's like find your way. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching where you're helping people go inward to discover their way rather than
Mm.
teaching this is what you should do.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
like this is what's worked for me. I can share what's worked for me. And, I believe to the depths of my bones, this is like the best way ever. But I
Yeah.
also am aware that for some people, 30 minutes of breathwork practice every morning it might not be their jam, right? It just
Yeah.
might not. Like, and that's okay, but find your thing. Is it journaling? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Is it a combination of breath work and meditation, which I actually have to admit I am very into meditation as well.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, because like we said, I'm into like energy and for me, like meditation gives me that space to really change like the energy in my body in terms of like, right, how's it feeling now? Right. Let me connect to a vision of where I'm going, my
Mhm.
future self, and let me bring that energy into my body.
Oh my God, yeah, the future self stuff is huge. I love doing that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's so individual. And I think a lot of the time as well, it's as practitioners, it's as you say, like we really want to make sure to encourage the person's individuality and not say, oh, this is how what worked for me. So this, and this. Because actually, if we're doing that, it's almost like we're going back to that old pattern of like being a doctor as well. It's like, oh, doctor,
Yeah.
tell me what I need to do. And it's like what you say about the outsourcing. A lot of the time we replace the kind of traditional, okay, we go to a doctor, they tell us what to do. Now we're kind of replacing it with like spirituality and things like that. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so this is what I need to do. And actually, it's all about discovering it for yourself. And
Yeah.
also, sometimes I think we can be a little bit tempted to add a lot of things in, right? Do you get that? Where you're like, oh my God, but the journaling, the meditation, the breath work, the dance. And I can sometimes find myself getting a bit overwhelmed because it's like, well, I need to do this, and this, and this. And actually, sometimes it's about, as you say, slowing down and removing some things as well. It's not necessarily, doing 5 different practices, or it's like finding your thing.
Totally. And I think again, this for me comes back to energy. What's the energy in which
Yeah.
you're doing the thing? Like,
Yes.
are you doing a meditation with a intention of trying to get an outcome, trying to change, trying to fix? Like, is there like trying to kill time, trying to, or are you doing it in a state of being and receiving? And I think this is also a big part of our work, right? Is that most people, when they come to this work, they have not been good at receiving. They have been
Mm.
giving and giving and giving, and they find it really hard to receive. And this is again why I'm so passionate about the breath, because it's such a mirror of how we receive. How do you receive your inhale? The
Yeah.
amount of people I
Mm.
breathe and they're like scared to inhale the oxygen from the universe, which is just in full abundance, right? You're not
Yeah.
taking from anyone else. Like receive.
Yeah.
So for me, like really like receiving is being a big part of this growth for me as well. It's like receiving medicine from other people, right? Like going to different
Mm.
breathwork practitioners and receiving their medicine and being in this state of really being. So again, it just comes back to this. What is the energy in which you're doing the practice? Are you journaling because you should? And I think so many of us are living in this should
Yes.
frequency, right?
Box tick. Okay.
Yeah. Or are you doing it because you're like, this is you're in the energy and the frequency of like joy. And
Yeah.
I'm loving
Yes.
sharing my thoughts on this page. And I'm so in touch with how I feel and how life moves through me that
Mm.
I just want to write, versus, oh, I should write 5 gratitudes. I am grateful for my dog. It should be,
Mm.
I am grateful for my dog because every morning he's overlooking my face when I open my eyes and like licking me on the lips, like
Wow.
and making me feel so treasured and and loved. This again, it's like this comes back to this energy in the body. Like, how is it moving through you? Like, how are you connecting to yourself?
Yeah, such powerful words. Such powerful words. I want to ask you a little bit actually about kind of going off on a bit of a segue here about what is next for you, not necessarily in terms of like, well, yes, absolutely, in terms of more tangible things as well. If you know, the next kind of 5 to 10 years, what is kind of alive in you? What are you moving towards in the future? Like coming back to that future self that we were talking about. What is future self Sarah doing? Like, what
Love this
is,
question.
yeah. Give me a
This
little
is
picture.
such a great question. And for me, like obviously, and this kind of goes to people that are kind of listening to this that are in coaching or anything like this. It's like they say, like kind of you evolve with your, you're still growing, right? And you're evolving,
Yeah.
and that often your audience is evolving with you as you evolve. And for me, when I came to this work, I was very focused on breath work, like conscious connected breath work. And still for me, it's like a huge tool. Like it's the best tool I've ever found. But my work now has expanded so much more than that, right? So like
Mhm.
my one-to-one coaching isn't just like conscious connected breathwork sessions. It's like actual, talking, it's embodiment, inner child work, somatics, like I mix it all together. So for
Yeah.
me, and what I've really found as I've journeyed through is that I really connect with working with women at the moment, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Because they always say as well, like as a coach, your story is often how you end up helping people, right? Because
Yeah.
right. And I'm also really into human design, and I'm a six line, which means you're a role model, which means you also learn through wisdom. So you grow and learn through wisdom.
Mm.
And that's very much like how I help my clients is like what's worked for me, what have I done that's helped me make these huge shifts in my life and sharing that knowledge. So for me, it's really about awakening your feminine power, like this divine feminine. I think today we've really been taught to fit into this very masculine way of living. Like this is
Mhm.
how society operates, especially in the UK and America and places like that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about helping women remember their power, their inner power, their intuition, their like pleasure that they can bring into life. Kind of this magic on legs, feminine, beautiful goddess, right? Like, and
Mhm.
I had such a struggle with the word goddess when I first came to this work. I was like, oh, goddess, what a horrible word. Like
It's so
it kind
funny,
of
isn't
felt
it?
this like cheesy, like, but actually when you explore the archetype of the goddess, right? She
Yeah.
knows who she friggin' is. She is not scared to speak her truth. She walks into a room and her energy is like, whoa, right? She's kind, she's connected. She doesn't matter what she looks like. The way she moves, you think she's beautiful, right? Like
Yeah.
she can be any shape, color, but she has got some magnetic power. And for me, my passion is helping women remember who they are, bringing them back to this essence, bringing them back to this just
Mm.
knowing within themselves that they are here to do big, big things and to really transform the world, right? And it's very much about teaching them like, you can be the mother, you can work, you can have it all, but you
Yeah.
just have to know how to work with your energy, right?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
can. It's just where are you placing your energy? And so for me, I guess like it's just about touching as many hearts that I can
Mm.
and getting to as many women as I can to help them transform. Of course, to help men as well. And I do still work with men, but my messaging is very much around women and awakening their feminine power, helping them like embody this divine feminine essence, right? Really bringing them back to their
Yeah.
bodies and the way
Yes.
they move through life and the beauty that they bring to everything. And especially also like really igniting that confidence piece in people again, because so many of us women have given our power away. We've given
Mhm.
our power away to other women. We have like huge sister wounds, a lot of us. We've given
Yeah.
our power away to men that haven't necessarily treated us so great or jobs. And it's really about bringing that power back and that knowing that you are here to do great things and that you get to create your life, right? You get to create your
Yeah.
life. You get to do that. And just helping with them to get and to fulfill their dreams, really. And in terms of my personal that goes alongside that is
Mm.
for me to keep growing, to keep doing my trainings, learning from incredible teachers that are out there that are older with wisdom. And, this is a big thing for me. I love going to like the OGs of the practices, right?
Oh, yeah.
The person who's been doing it for 20 years or more. I want all of your knowledge. Bring it to me.
Yeah, and also especially with older women, like in our society, we're not often taught about how much wisdom they have. We're so obsessed with youth and beauty, young beauty specifically.
Yes.
And actually, I'm loving and that what you say around that as well, because it's like, my God, I mean, the wisdom of older women and like,
Oh my
the
God.
wise women of the tribe, all that kind of stuff is like kind of has been obviously, through the patriarchy kind of squashed
Yeah.
down and like, oh, well, women that age, what do they have to offer? Actually, they have that. It's scary how much power they have and how much they have to offer. That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why they were pushed down, right? So I totally agree with you of that, like learning from the older kind of wisdom keepers and the women. It's like,
Beautiful.
wow,
Yeah.
what can we learn? And that's the thing that also is quite inspiring for, I don't know, for you, but I feel like I'm looking forward to gaining even more of that wisdom and being that
Me
kind of maybe that
too.
eccentric, older,
For
wild
sure.
women with all this kind of wisdom.
Yes, beautiful, right? Like, what a life
Yeah.
to live, right? And that we get to share all this hard work we do in our,
Yeah.
we personally, I know you as a friend, and the
Mm.
amount of like work you put into yourself and the amount of work I put into myself, like, this is huge, right? And to be able to
Yeah.
share that with other people that want to learn that want to grow with us, right? And my coach, she's incredible. She talks about like shoulder to shoulder leadership, right?
Oh, I
It's
just got
not
tingles.
right. It's not no longer this leadership of
Yeah.
like, I'm telling you what to do and you follow me and I'm the leader of the pack. It's like,
Mm.
we're all here. We all have different strengths and let's learn together. Like I might be able to
Yes.
teach somebody listening to this more about breath work than they know, but they might be able to teach me something more about motherhood than I know.
Yeah.
And we each have a gift. We each have a gift. We were born with a gift, and it's just about finding that gift and kind of bringing that gift into life. Like I feel like I always knew my gift. I was just
Mm.
scared to kind of let it out. I was scared to be powerful. My power almost scared me, right? And that can
Mhm.
also be a part. Like a lot of people might be scared to have a voice because they find it hard to talk. Whereas for me, I'm what, as you can tell, right, big, powerful. So for me, I often was holding myself back because I was scared of being judged for being so big and powerful and taking up too much space.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yeah,
God, yeah.
all of these things. I mean, I could talk to you for hours.
Oh,
Like,
I know, I know. It's like, should we just do this podcast for like 3 hours? I would love there are a few things I wanna touch upon there. I'm gonna ask you a little bit later on. I say a little
hmm
bit later on, we don't actually have so much time left. A little bit later on about, your offerings and all that kind of stuff
yeah,
that, where can people find you? But I'd love to ask you, which could be really helpful to the listeners. And I know you've given so many insights already, but I'd love to know if there was a particular insight that you would tell your younger self about life or about how, what to
hmm
not what to expect, but is there some wisdom that you would impart to that younger Sarah? And in turn, it probably quite helpful for some of the other listeners too.
wow, that is an incredible question. I think the biggest thing I would tell her and teach her, I guess, is a good thing,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
how to master your emotions,
Mm,
right? This is, for me, such a big piece of the puzzle, right? So many
yeah.
of us are scared of emotions,
Mhm.
right? So that's why we numb, we run, we avoid, we're anxious attached because we're scared of how we really feel. And when we learn how to, I say hold our emotions, that's the word I
Mm,
use. I don't mean hold them in like trap them. I mean to hold them
yeah.
in love. When we know how to move our emotion through our body so the energy doesn't get stuck,
Mm,
this is the most powerful thing, especially for women, that you can have, where you honor your emotions. You know how to move them through your body, right? On a
mm,
sad day, you just sit on the sofa and watch a sad movie and let yourself feel sad and cry and call your friends and, but you don't make it mean something more than it is. And you're not ashamed of it. I think the biggest thing with emotions as well is often when we feel difficult emotions, we then shame on top. So it's like a compounded bad
Yes.
emotion, right? So it's like, oh my
Beating
goodness.
ourselves with a stick when we feel down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, "Oh my goodness, I feel depressed," or "I am depressed," right?
Yeah.
"Oh my god, that's not right. I shouldn't feel depressed." So then it's like you're shaming yourself on top. So like
Yeah.
you're and then on top of that, you feel shame, so then you feel more depressed, and then it's like a negative emotional sandwich, right?
Mm.
Let me eat that. But yeah, so I think I would literally say to the little me, like, "Feel it all. You've got this. You can hold
Yes.
this." Like, yes, there's difficult emotions, but you have the power to move through those.
Mhm.
You have the power, you have the foundation to you that nothing in this life can rock you. It might
Mm.
like I weirdly I was leaving this as a voice note in my portal community yesterday. I was using it like a building, like a big tall building. Like, if we have the foundations to the building and the huge earthquake comes,
Mhm.
the building, the foundations are there, it cannot be knocked. It might just
Yeah.
shake and sway, which is great. We want to move that energy through us, right? Let it
Yeah.
shake. But the foundations are there. We know
Mhm.
how that we are embodied. We know how to feel. And I really believe like life is duality. It's
Mhm.
good, it's bad, right? On Instagram, we might get fed the story that such and such's life is perfect, but nobody escapes pain. Nobody.
Yeah.
We all experience pain, whether that's death, great heartbreak, losing a job,
Mhm.
I don't know, losing money. Like we all experience it. It's the duality of life. And
Yeah.
when we learn how to ride that wave up and down and sometimes up and down, life changing. So I would say master your emotions, master your life.
Oof. Love that to end on. That's fantastic. Master your emotions, emotional mastery.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah.
Alchemize that pain with love.
I mean,
Alchemize it.
I'm just listening to this now and I'm like, imagine if you'd have had this when you were young. Someone saying all
Oh my
these things
God.
to you. Oh my goodness. Like,
Wow.
where would we be now? Like, I like to think we're doing, we're exactly where we need to be, right? But it's like, God, if we'd have had this
Yeah.
figure who could have told us these things, wow.
Or learnt this in school, right?
Oh my
Like,
goodness. Yeah. Rather than like algebra or all the things that I never use now.
right. It's totally crazy. Like such
Yeah.
simple stuff that can really change lives, and we're talking about this on quite a privilege level, let's be honest. And
Yes.
there's a lot of people out there that need these tools even more than some of us need them.
Yeah.
So for me, I just love to, for all of us, for me, for you to reach as many people as we can. So
Yeah,
for
exactly.
anyone that's listening to this podcast, please share it, share it with someone that this might find this helpful because there are all these tips and your podcast to come, I'm sure, knowing you and the beautiful human being that you are, that you're just going to keep
Oh.
sharing all this beautiful insight that everyone gets to listen to. So,
Oh.
yeah, keep going. It's just incredible what you're doing. You should be very proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you. I laughed. It made me emotional on my first episode.
Yeah,
No, it's
true.
good actually. Bring it through. Bring those tears through if they need to come.
Yeah.
You're talking about the practices and the tools. I love, and I think I'm probably going to ask a lot of the guests this same question. Is there a particular tool or technique or something that you're either working with now or something that's really helped shift things for you that people can kind of just do at home, something simple? Is there anything that's coming through?
Okay. Well, I
So-
think two things. I mean, I'm not sure if people call conscious connected breathwork simple.
Oh, yeah. But actually, it'd be helpful just a little bit of a brief intro to
Yeah.
what that is as well for people, as in, like,
Yeah,
what is it?
totally.
Yeah.
So really you do need half an hour, I say, to do
Yeah.
that every morning. So I know that's a lot for people, but if you are a bit more advanced with the practice, you can do a double inhale in which I think you
Yeah.
can do 15 minutes. This morning I did 15 minutes, completely changed my state.
Mm.
But conscious
Yeah.
connected breath work is just where you have a continuous connected breath into the belly. It's in and out
Mhm.
the mouth is the way that I teach mine that I've learned. And basically what it does is and this is why you kind of need the time period, because especially if we're very stressed, it takes some time to come out of that state of stress and into kind of more relaxation to really drop into the body. But it will
Yeah.
basically just take you into slightly altered state, nothing crazy, don't worry. And then you will just start to like some subconscious beliefs might come through, emotional feelings. My favorite bit is clarity and downloads from the universe. There's a
Wow.
real
Yeah.
spiritual connection to it. So for me, I have to say that's the one practice that honestly, like, you can plug, like I said at the beginning, you can plug in, you can plug back in so beautifully, be and like move from that state of fear and worry and panic and control into this state of receiving and trust and connection. And it's just so beautiful. But the other thing that really comes through for me that's kind of a bit more simple is a simple inner child kind of practice, right? To just
Mm-hmm.
simply, when you wake up in the morning, to either physically imagine your inner child with you. This is a big one I do with my clients. I have them take their inner child with them about their day, go apple picking in the garden with your inner child. Yeah, so either if you feel comfortable enough and you're close enough and connected to your inner child, obviously physically can be in the space and have a cuddle with them in bed, or
Mm-hmm.
really love them because you're their parent now. But the other
Yeah.
one is to just simply place both hands on my heart and just really breathe into my heart really slowly and just expand my heart with my breath. Just through the nose is great, but if you want to do an open mouth breath, that's a great one, just to really get, because the mouth breath really like relaxes us into the body. It really relaxes us and helps us to kind of tune into our emotions a bit better. So I just breathe into my heart and I just say to her, "You are safe. We are safe. It is safe." And
Yeah.
because often it's the inner child running the show, and we haven't talked about inner child stuff, but
Mm.
it's often the inner child running the show. That is the fear, that is the anxiety, that is the panic. But we're now adults and we can take care of our inner child, and just to let her know that she's safe is just a really beautiful, simple practice that you can do anytime, but
Oh,
especially in the morning, to just set yourself up for your day ahead.
oh, such beautiful insights there. And yeah, inner child work, I know, as you say, we haven't really touched upon it much, but it
Mm,
is so powerful. We all carry these parts of ourselves, wounded parts,
mm,
and, that didn't receive what we needed, perhaps. We didn't get the support that we needed, or that we didn't quite process something at the time. And it's like
yeah.
giving our little one some love, that she didn't
Yes.
get, and just, it's so, so powerful. We can do it in different ways, but that's a beautiful, really simple way to do it as well. And, a
Yeah.
great way to even start out if you don't know much about inner child meditations or work.
Yeah.
It's like just kind of being with your younger self and telling her, it's okay. We got this. I love you.
Yeah.
And it's so
Yeah.
powerful. So yeah, love that you said that. Love that you
Good.
said that.
Thank you.
Now, I realize the time has flown. I'm going to start to wrap up and ask you, after this conversation, I'm sure people are going to be like, where the hell can I find Sarah? What are her offerings? Where can I find her? So, yeah, just give us a little bit about, how we can do that.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, I'm on Instagram. My
Oh.
handle is I am Sarah Hyde.
Mhm. Hide with a Y,
I
yeah.
Yeah, Hyde.
It'll
I
be
always
in
say
the
Hyde like Hyde Park.
oh,
That's what I was saying. People always laugh at
cute,
me. I'm
like high
like
five.
Hyde
That's
like Hyde Park.
a
Yeah, just my casual park. Yeah, yeah. So I am Sarah Hyde. Obviously my website is iamsarahhyde.com. But I think the real main ways to work with me are my online community, which is called The Portal. And that is literally a library of over 200, I call them activations. Okay. So
Mm.
that's because I believe they're changing the energy in the body. So that's breath work, embodied affirmations, meditations, EFT, energy work, a whole body of work in there. It is an absolute masterpiece, I have to say.
Yes.
And you get 2 live sessions with me a week as well there. And of course, the library is there. You can do it anytime, anywhere. That's the beauty of it. There are longer, slightly longer things like half an hour, but then there's also in there things that are about like 10 minutes. I always do slightly longer stuff because I believe that's where the real change comes. Like, I mean, of course, there's lots of other people out there offering shorter things, but from my experience and the way that I teach, for me, slightly longer, 10 minutes and over. And there's also a beautiful Telegram group in there where I leave daily love notes, little nuggets of insights like I've been leaving here, which is just so powerful to keep you in the frequency, right? Because when we
Yeah.
first come to this work, especially, it can be hard to stay in it because a lot of our friends might not be into it. So it's this space that you can
Mm.
keep plugging in, keep listening to the words, keep listening to the frequency, right? And feeling it. And then, of course, I do one-to-one, which is just, I love it. I get to go really deep with people. They get to transform really quickly. It's honestly like I've had 2 one-to-one clients that have had miracle babies, which has been amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, just like really big life-changing things. So when you change energy, everything changes. People who couldn't get pregnant now, like little baby in their arms, like a
Oh my
miracle. It's just so
God.
beautiful. Yeah. So
Tingles again.
yeah, I really help. My main focus again is really helping awaken women's power,
Mm.
taking them back to remember who they are and to bring back their light, right? In a world that is so dark and can be so dark, just helping people just shine that light back on themselves and remember life really is something very special. And we're all so
Mm.
blessed to have this
Yeah.
life. We
Yeah.
really are. It's such a gift. And I also do workshops for breath work and stuff like that. But yeah, so they're the main ways people can find me.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you are such a light in the world, honestly, not to kind of blow too much smoke up
You're
your
so
ass, but it's so
sweet.
true, and I feel like that's going to come through in this podcast, and I'm sure people are going to want to, like, Sarah's, she's a force. She's a force. She's going to
Yeah,
be, she's going places.
she is. She is. She
Literally
is.
and metaphorically and energetically.
Energetically,
Yeah.
energetically, right? It's like warm. You can probably feel it through your ears
Yeah,
right now. But yeah, I've got a lot
absolutely.
of energy here that I got gifted, and I am ready to share that with anyone and everyone and anyone that wants to come on this
Mm,
crazy ride of life with me. I am here.
yes.
Buckle up. Let's go.
Yes.
This is for the extraordinary. We don't do the
Yeah.
ordinary life, right? We
No,
are
no,
doing
no.
extraordinary. Like, how good can it get? How much
Yeah.
more can I have, right? Much
Yeah.
better can I feel? Like, let's go. Expand, expand. This is the frequency
Yeah.
I live on. So
Let's take
come on
ourselves
in.
out of that box of like what we think is possible and fucking smash through that. What's up in the sky? What's down, but
Let's
like
go.
there's so much.
How good can it get?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that is a fantastic note to end on.
Oh, thank
How
you
good
so
can it get?
much.
So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'm sure people have loved listening to that. And thanks so much.
And thank you so much for your time, your energy, and all the
Yeah.
beautiful things that you put out into the world. Like you say, I'm a light, you are a mirror, right? I'm a mirror for you. You're a
That's true.
light. You're a light. What you see is in you. You're a light. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my love. Beautiful to be here with you.